This is episode 5 of the For the Law of Cricket podcast with Jim and Akim. We'll be discussing tomorrow's game. Well, basically the most touted game for the weekend between hosts India and Australia in this year's World Cup.
It's a big one. Generally, huge clash. One of the feature games of most World Cup schedules. Two powerhouses, two teams who have won the World Cup already. Not all the competing nations have won the World Cup. So it's usually a very looked forward to game. Generally has some of the biggest names in the world of cricket. We look at the game on the upcoming game. We look at the likes of Virat Kohli, Steve Smith, two of the biggest names in batting, two superstar batsmen in world cricket of this generation. And then you look at the bowling. You look at the likes of Ravichandran Ashwin, Ravindra Jadeja, Mitchell Stark, Pat Cummins, huge names, superstars. The likes of Glenn Maxwell from Australia, who has gone for big bucks in the IPL many a year. Rohit Sharma, the hitman. The up and coming Cam Green, the dangerous Mitchell Marsh. So it promises to be a huge clash.
Alright, so the form for both teams over the last World Cup cycle. India has completed 59 games and they have won 40, which is a very good winning percentage.
Healthy.
They're basically winning 68% of their games. Batting wise, they average 40 runs per wicket and they score at around 6 and over, just over 6 and over. Bowling wise, they average 30 runs per wicket taken and they generally go at about 5.7 runs per over. Australia, on the other hand, has completed 42. They have won 24. Batting wise, they scored 33 runs per wicket and just about 5.8 runs per over. In the bowling side for them, they go at 31 runs per wicket taken, and the bowlers go at an average of 5.5 runs per over. Recent form, last 11 games for India, they have won 8, and they have played, out of those 11 games, they have played against Australia 6 times, and they have won 3 of those. For Australia, they have won 5 of their last 11 games. Anything to add to that?
Not much to add. The Australian form, I would say, coming into this clash hasn't been the greatest. This isn't probably the strongest Australian team that we have seen turn up to Cricketing World Cup. And there are question marks over the batting, in my estimation. I also feel that they are a bit light in the spin bowling department as well, very light. So it will be interesting to see how they fare in the subcontinent here in India during this tournament.
Key names for India coming in to this tournament is, well, one key name is Shubman Gill.
He's been in brilliant form.
He has been scoring at a strike rate of 105, and his average for the year so far is 72. And in the recently concluded series against Australia, he scored 2 centuries. On the Australian side, Mitchell Marsh has been scoring heavy, but consistently for them it's been David Warner. He's in good form and he scored 350s in the last series against India.
Which is important for Australia and David Warner, considering how his form and cricket has been over probably the last 18 months.
To be fair, he's been struggling in tests, yes, but his one-day form has been consistent.
Decent.
He's still a force to reckon with in one-day international cricket. Concerns though for Australia with Alex Carey. He was there. He was for them in the last World Cup. He was the most consistent player they had.
Yeah,
he
was.
Dubbed them out of many situations and carried them into the semi-finals. But from his last 8 games, he scored at 99 versus South Africa, but outside that one score, he hasn't passed 20 since. Additionally, Cam Green has been struggling with the bat since his 47-ball century in the IPL. And that was way back in May. He struggled in the Test series in England. He's been injured in and out since then. And when he's been in the side, he hasn't done much.
Yeah,
he got a score in one of the warm-up games, the last warm-up game. So I guess that is some positive for him going forward.
Hopefully, a sign of a turnaround.
Looking at the pitch conditions coming into the game, though, they'll be playing in Delhi. Well, not in Delhi, sorry. They're playing in Chennai. It is a square that has basically two different types of clay on it again. One side has the red clay, which is seamer friendly, and the other side has a dark clay, grey clay, which is spin friendly. It's been said that the wicket being prepared for the game is of the darker variety.
for obvious reasons as well. One can imagine.
But India has very potent seamers as well. Would they be dulling their own edge?
That's true, but I think if you put it to a spinner's wicket, considering the expertise and the skills in both squads, the Indians will definitely back themselves.
Are they banking on the fact that Australia's second spinner is
Glenn Maxwell? That could be a factor. The Australians will say that Maxwell is properly suited, vast experience in subcontinent conditions, vet in the IPL tournament, but I still think that they are a bit short, the spin bowling end, and I'm not very confident in Glenn Maxwell as a second spinner for a tournament in India.
What about Zampa?
Zampa's credentials are fairly good, I feel. I feel he's decent. He's a decent leg spinner, fairly good control, decent variation slider, and a bit of a googly. I think he's a handy bowler. Will he set the tournament alight? Is he somebody that I look at setting the tournament alight when I think of the quality of spin bowlers or the variety of spin bowlers that will be participating? Not necessarily, but I expect him to hold his own and be decent in the tournament.
Right, based on what I've seen of Zampa, well, his stats hold up against India. He does pretty well against them, but otherwise, when he's up against fairly good players, it's a bit ordinary. They tend to hit him around very easily. So he might be a showing for this game, but I think based on how he goes here, well, based on the pitch conditions of the grounds that they're going into further and down in the tournament, it would depend on his selection. So for India, they're probably 11 for us has been Rohit Sharma, Shubman Gill. We're living in a modern world now. I think he'll get better by
Yeah. You think he'll overcome the dengue?
Yeah, he'll get better. If not, then I guess they will probably have to use Shreyas Iyer and have Ishan Kishan moved out the middle order and up the top. So we have Sharma, Gill, Kohli, Surya Kumar, you have Ishan Kishan, Hardik Pandya, Jadeja, Ashwin, Siraj, Kuldeep and Shami. I don't think it's a very easy team to pick because we've left out Jasper Over.
Yeah.
He averages 21 in one international cricket. That is Wazim Akram esque, Brett Lee esque.
Yeah, it's out of this world. It's phenomenal numbers.
But
his form hasn't been great coming into the tournament. His form this year generally, he has had he has had a tough time with injuries this year, and he has really struggled to put together a consistent string of games. It's not the type of form that you would associate with Jasprit Bumrah, or the type of form that you'd expect from him going into a major world tournament for India, especially at home. But he just hasn't been himself, and I expect him to probably be eased into the tournament, and he will probably grow in stature, but probably might not be ready for the first game of the tournament here.
To be honest, even before he got injured, he hasn't been himself in one day international cricket. I don't know if it is because of the two new balls and the fact that they have reinforced the seam. So it's making it easier for him to be hit. We haven't spoken about the king, Kohli.
Well, what can you really say about Virat? Phenomenal batsman. He has won the World Cup here at home before. I'm sure that it's probably something that he's looking to check off as he approaches the latter side of his career. Phenomenal player. He really holds this India batting lineup together. Phenomenal numbers in 50 over cricket, especially chasing. Sets the tempo. Wide array of shots, shot selection, loves playing against Australia as well, something that we must add. And he is somebody that could really set this tournament alight. You have good players, great players, and then you have Virat Kohli unsung, and he is out of this world when he's in that sort of mood.
A key name I brought up in the lineup is Ravichandran Ashwin, your favorite.
Yeah, Ravichandran.
He hasn't been a consistent member of this ODI team. He has only played 4 games in the last 6 years.
Ravichandran Ashwin will be very excited for this tournament. As you mentioned, he hasn't been a consistent 50 over player for India. Not something that he has been very happy about, I must say. He always wants to play, no matter the format, but excellent bowler, excellent off spinner, has all the skills. Sometimes I feel like he probably experiments a bit too much with them, but when he's a student of the game, very smart thinker, astute. He will have his plans and how he wants to execute against Australia if he is in the lineup for this game, but I expect him to play a big part for India throughout this World Cup. He's not somebody that will be content with being just a part of the squad and be playing a big part role. He will want to play a major part in this, and I expect him to do fairly well in this tournament, especially at home.
I expect him to play in this game, as in he played in the recent series against Australia. He bowled a carom ball so that the reverse come back.
Yeah, it has.
It was Labuschagne. He went back, tried to turn it into the leg side, ended up trying squaring up, and his off stump got pegged back. He troubled David Warner. David Warner decided to bat right hand. So I'm sure you'll be a big name being discussed in their team meeting.
For sure, for sure.
And they'll be discussing how to combat that. As I put on your Australian cap, how do you think they would be planning for this Indian team?
Thinking of how they would approach this Indian team, the Indians will come out confident for sure. They'll be at home. It would be a proud day for them, proud moment, and they will be looking to execute to the best of their abilities in terms of the Australians and their approach. I think it's probably going to be attacking the new ball in their attacking with the new ball in their bowling effort and also in the batting effort. They know that it will be a handful when the spinners come on, when Jadeja and Ashwin get into the game. And they'll look to take the chances against the Indian seamers. The likes of Shami, Siraj, Hardik Pandya will bowl some overs as well. But you would think that the Indians will look to put the squeeze on with Jadeja and Ashwin. So I think it's really about attacking the new ball for Australia and then setting up a decent platform in the middle where they can allow Jadeja and Ashwin to probably bowl 20 overs for 90, 100 runs without giving them too many wickets away. Those are my thoughts.
Between Jadeja and Ashwin, I don't think, well, as I said, they will sit back on both of them. Could probably, well, he's a second spinner. He's been known before this year to be hot and cold.
Yes. And that's a bit of the nature of the wrist spinner as well.
Since of late, he's been consistent. He's been bowling fast and he's still getting the amount of turn. So he'll be harder to target. So as I say, I think they'll be looking to go at the faster bowlers. Bowling wise, well, let's have a look at our probably 11 for the Australian team. We would have Warner, Marsh, Smith, Labuschagne, toss up between Green and Stoinis depending on the fitness of Stoinis because he's carrying a hamstring niggle. Travis Head is at home resting. And then we'll have Cummins, Maxwell, outer side wicketkeeper Carey, Mitchell Stark, Zampa and Hazelwood. In this lineup, I think bowling wise, Stark is key.
Yeah,
If Stark can't get Sharma or Gill out, then it's going to be a tough day for the rest of the bowlers. Because if we Stark Hazelwood to start, Cummins first change and then two medium fast bowlers. Well, one medium fast bowler and Marsh. If Stoinis play, it will be two. If Green play, it will be another fast bowler, but he's not very consistent. And then Zampa and Maxwell. So Mitchell Stark is key, very important to this bowling lineup.
Very important. He not the leader of the attack in Test cricket, but I feel like he is the leader of the attack here in 50 over cricket. Very dangerous with the brand new ball, full and swinging, especially to the right-handed batsmen. In swingers, LBW, clean bowl. That's generally the order of the day, but he has to set the tone for Australia with the brand new ball, with the brand new cherry.
Do we expect a score up around 300 for this game? Both teams score at less than 6 and over, consistent. Well, India scores at 6 exactly. Australia is down to 5.8. The wicket, the last 300 score there was in 2011.
It's a while.
And the last time India played a one-day game there, they lost. I think they played against Australia, they actually made a 260. And then India struggled, they made about 200 all out.
I'm thinking if India bat first, they would be the more likely team to get 300, but I think they would feel safe with 280. 280 kicking off the tournament. I feel like 280 would be a fairly safe target for them, especially considering the bowling attack and the spinners at their disposal.
So, with the prediction,
For this one, I back the Indians to start the tournament off with a win here.
you're going against the 5-time champions. This one was the crazy.
I am backing the Indians at home in this one.
Well, they have been in decent form. Australia has been, well, they have a string of injuries, so Travis said he's at home resting, trying to recover to come to the tournament.
It's a big loss, massive loss.
Green was injured, Stoinis is niggly, Maxwell is just recovering from injury as well.
Yeah.
Zampa only played the first game of not the Asia Cup, the series against India, because he has been struggling as well. So
There are a lot of questions you think around the Australia 11 and the form coming into the game.
India is almost full strength. The only person missing is Akshar Patel, but then they get Ashwin. Ashwin is a world beater anyway, so.
Yeah. Someone that we haven't mentioned so far, Steve Smith. What do you think about him, and how do you think he will go in the tournament?
Steve Smith is Steve Smith, and Steve Smith always finds a way to make some runs. Key point to note, Labuschagne came into the squad, and he's got some scores against India recently, so.
Yeah, he has something to prove in 50 over cricket as well. He wasn't happy being omitted from the original World Cup squad. The numbers, he agreed that his numbers didn't warrant a place or justify him being selected, and since he has been re-added to the one-day group, he has performed quite creditably, and he is somebody who is determined, and I'm sure he's eyeing having a big World Cup here.
Thanks for that. Alright, that's the end of our episode today. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching, guys.